Welcome back. We are now inside of Gmail. What we're now going to do is we're going to take a look at some things that we can do in Gmail internally to get more productivity. Now, one of the things that we can do in going inside of the settings area of our Gmail and going here, we will then see that in a space that there is an undo send button. And what this does is this will allow us to recall an email before it is actually sent. We can determine a certain period of time that an email will remain in our box when we send it, so that if we make a mistake or we feel as if we need to go back and retrieve that email after we've sent it, we can actually do that. We can set it for a specific period of time. For example, we can set that period at 30 seconds. So this means then that when we send an email, within 30 seconds, we can actually go back and recall that email if we changed our mind about it. So if we set this parameter, all we've got to do is then just save our changes. And we can do that at the bottom of the page. The one other feature that we can use in our Gmail box is one that will allow us to preview emails before we actually have to delete them and determine them as being read. And so we can do that by adding in a preview of each email. And again, that preview will allow us to read the email without having to designate it as being read. And this will be of a special advantage now that we have buttons on the outside that we can actually manage our email very quickly. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to go inside of the gear. We'll need to go to the settings area. And once we get there, we're going to click the labs link. When we get to the labs link, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. We're going to look for the preview pane. When we get to the preview pane, we're going to click enable. And when we do that, we're going to scroll down and we're going to click save changes. Now before we begin to use this feature, we want to go back inside of our settings and we want to determine how long it's going to be before a conversation is determined as being read. We can actually control that here. And we can say that we never want this email to be determined as read until we actually mark it as read. So we can use never, we can say 20 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, or immediately. So we can use the never button, and then we can then save our changes. Now what happens is that when we actually go and we click an email, you'll notice then that this email can now be previewed, but it won't be marked as read. So we can then manage that email as we see fit, while at the same time we can get a preview of it as we scroll down our box. And you'll notice then that these emails have not been determined as being read. Now, one final activity we can engage in is we can go back into the settings, we can go back to the labs, and while we can add any of these labs, there's one in particular that will help us if we often search our inbox. What we can do is we can actually enable what's called quick links, and then we can click save changes. So now if we search our inbox and we were to type in the parameters CPA marketing, you can actually save that inside of our quick link system. And so in this particular case, we can then leave this as search /CPA marketing, or we can put the URL in here. You can actually leave this as it is. We're just going to click OK. And so now what will happen is anytime that we want to search our box for CPA marketing, all we have to do is go to that link. We can do the same thing again. So you'll see now we've typed in ClickFunnels. And so what we can do is we can click quick link. We'll see that search ClickFunnels. We'll click OK. And now we have that quick link in our browser. So we can use this anytime that we do a search fairly often, and we can use it to very quickly access that search inside of our browser, inside of our Gmail account. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.